Hi, my name's Ian Corrigan from Rossendale Rapid Fire, and today we're going to be reviewing the Armsan RS S1, which is a Turkish-made, under license, Saiga 12. Let's have a look. So here we are on the Armsan website. We've got the RS S1 black monoblock. Now this is actually the one that we're going to be reviewing. The one that's going to be imported though is going to be the black telescopic. There's no difference between these guns. The only difference is that they've got a sort of all-in-one stock like that, and there is a collapsible stock like that. Now technically the one that comes from the manufacturer is a folding stock, but it's going to be pinned in such a way that it won't sort of disconnect. And you've got a commercial, not a mil-spec, a commercial tube with an M4 sort of Magpul style buttstock on it, and that's a standard buttstock. If you're thinking that looks a little familiar, that's because it is the same buttstock that you find on the UTAS XTR. The two companies are both Turkish and they order their parts from the same places. You'll notice that the UTAS magazines, strangely enough, are the same as the Typhoon magazines. They're not interchangeable, just very similar. In fact, so similar you'll spot it a mile off. But in this case, we've just got a simple buttstock here. It's the same that comes on the Armsan RS. There are other colours, some of the Cerakote colours. They're quite military in their style. There are sort of greens, greys, sort of the good old sands, deserts, some multicams, etc. That's the telescopic version. Sorry, that's the all-in-one version. And there's also the telescopic version as well. So if that's floating your boat, that's available. If it's not, then you might just go straight forward with a black one. So you might look at this gun and you might say, well, it doesn't look like a Saiga. My friend's got a Saiga. This looks like a Mollet Vepr. Are you sure it's not a Mollet Vepr? Because I think it is, and my mate says it is. The truth is, though, it is definitely manufactured after a Saiga. The way in which Mollets are manufactured, they're stamped in such a way that this part is part of the receiver. The Saigas, this is welded on, and it's very clear that this is a Saiga. Now you might say, well, that doesn't look like the Saigas that I've seen in the UK. My friend's got one, just doesn't look the same. It definitely looks like a Mollet Vepr. Well, actually what happened is the Kalashnikov concern at the Izmash factory changed the way they made these guns from the get-go. The original sort of very basic style gun became the export version, EXP01, and then the Russian versions and newer versions, the Saiga 030 onwards, look like this. So looking very carefully, you can see that they've got that forward gas block. They've got a square part here, and they've got double pins. If you go back at this, you've got that gas block, got a square part there, and you've got that double pins. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this gun is a Kalashnikov variant made under license, rather than being a Mollet, and Mollet are just slightly different. So that's the modern Saiga if you're going to buy it, which you can't because of the Russian arms embargo. This is the Turkish Saiga, if you like, which is the Armsan RS S1. Today's video is being filmed at Northwest Custom Parts. Big thanks to Wayne for allowing us to see this pre-release gun. So here we have the demonstrator gun. It is a 24-inch barreled UK SPEC version. Note the chokes and the brake there is externally threaded. It is not the same thread as a standard Saiga or a Mollet, so it will be the ones that come from Armsan. It will come with 5 and 10 round magazines. Standard safety, but the rear part here, the grip and the stock, will be its own M4 variant. So the gun will be retailing at approximately $945. There's talk of a slightly different magwell to be fitted, a little bit more flared, and also a different magazine release. Note that it's a last round bolt hold open version, so the button just above the magazine release is the button that holds it open, which automatically engages when the magazine runs dry, and then that metal tab just to the rear of the trigger, which can be sort of pushed off by your knuckle is the release button. So it's quite a slick piece of kit when you're running it. Comes with a standard AK style safety catch. I'm not sure if these are compatible with other aftermarket AK safety catches. I'll have to have a look at a sort of closer version at a later date, but it's probably compatible. If not, simple modifications, or speak to a qualified gunsmith and be able to modify one to fit. So as you can see there, you've got the double pins and you've got that chamfered edge on the part that has Armsan written on it. Clearly an AK, clearly a Kalashnikov variant, not a Mollet variant. So the gas block there at the top is very similar to the 030, so you do have a little sight there. Most race people will probably just take that sight off. Fore ends are compatible with any normal Saiga, or in this case a Mollet fore end will fit on there. I'm talking about the lower rather than the upper. That little sort of gas tube is detachable and doesn't really need changing, but you could change it if you wanted to. So very similar to the AK variant, so the Kalashnikov version. Gas block on the front there. You've got a little rail if you want to attach a sort of foregrip, or alternatively sort of any other bits you might want to add on. So here's your bolt carrier and bolt and spring. So the bolt carrier is exactly as you'd expect to see it on this 03 version. The bolt is almost interchangeable with the older version that I have, except the extractor is slightly different. So very sort of straightforward manufacturing and design. Very reliable, easy gun to get along with. So as you will be aware, any open gun, any box-fed gun needs to have reliable magazines. These are factory magazines from Armsan themselves. Note that these are different from a lot of the other magazines you might see for Saigas. These are last round bolt hold open magazines. Note the tab at the back. That is not there on other magazines. If you use other magazines, they're likely to engage the last round bolt hold open on every single round. So you can use other types of magazines such as SGM or Pro Mag magazines, but you'll have to remove the last round bolt hold open. Alternatively, just buy these magazines. Saiga magazines, by the way, for factory mags normally retail at around £100. These are about 50, so that's quite a big saving if you're looking at getting one of these guns. I'm not going to be doing a shooting video on this. We're actually at Northwest Custom Parts, so it's not possible for me to start just firing this gun in a public place. But the video is really just to show you that it is effectively an Izmash Saiga 12, but licensed and manufactured in Turkey. That's good news because it means that a lot of the parts that are available for Saiga are interchangeable. So if you want to change bits out, it's easy, it's not too difficult. Or alternatively, I'm sure there's going to be some RFDs out there doing some custom work on these guns. The shooting videos are sure to follow. Wayne's done some himself. I know that English Shooting is going to do some. I'm sure Neil Ragg at Rack and Load will be doing some. I don't tend to do too many shooting videos purely because you can make the gun work for a video. That doesn't necessarily mean that it works all the time. I have no doubt that this gun will work just fine, because they always do, and short of the manufacturing process using cheaper or more basic materials, I think that this gun will be equally as reliable as a standard Kalashnikov concern Saiga 12, and having owned one of those for 7 years now, I have never had any problems with it, apart from parts that I have added to it that were not made by Kalashnikov. So I can certainly say that they're very reliable. They don't really need a lot of cleaning, they don't need a lot of maintenance, they're not sort of prima donna guns, they're just workhorses. So hopefully these will be made to the same standards, and this will be a good alternative to all the AR-15, AR-10, AR platform guns that are coming out. You either like them or you don't. I'm a fan, but it's entirely up to you. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to know more about Rosendale Rapid Fire, please visit our webpage or catch us on Facebook.